Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1, Episode 4. It's called The Last Outpost. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. We meet the Ferengi in this episode, a race that I am sure sticks around. In fact, I believe the Ferengi we meet in this episode, the leader, becomes a main character in Deep Space Nine.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that's
Okay.
early, that's early on. There's a character. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't planned at this point. It was just kind of, oh, we want a Ferengi. Oh, we'll have him back. Who happens to be played by Armin Shimmerman, who you may know as Principal Snyder on the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
God damn it.
They handed me a silver platter, and I'm going to take it.
I'm going to take that silver platter and bash it into your face.
So yeah, that's the lead Ferengi. Who I'm pretty sure, isn't that a race in FTL?
I never played FTL, but it might be.
I feel like it is. There's something similar to that in FTL at least. They're just little sprigs, so it's not like they look anything like or anything like that. But I'm sure there's a race in that called a Ferengi. Maybe something similar. But yeah, so we meet a Ferengi, and basically the ship is pursuing a Ferengi ship, and the Federation know of the Ferengi, but they've never actually encountered them, in person. So they're a bit mysterious, and they're chasing after them because they've stolen a part from a space station.
Yeah.
An outpost. And they're chasing them down to get this part back. And they're passing by this planet, and the Enterprise gets stalled. Something's got a hold of it, and the power's starting to drain. And at first they think it's the Ferengi ship, but then it seems clear later on that the Ferengi ship's gone through the exact same thing. Therefore, it seems to be the planet that's doing it to both of them, and they eventually beam down. And so it's about so the first chunk of the episode is kind of about, okay, how do we respond to the Ferengi thinking that they have done something to us, and then it becomes, okay, how do we work together? Let's go and solve the mystery, and so on. That's basically the episode.
It's also kind of another remake episode, or at least it is in my opinion.
Go on. Which one are you thinking of?
Arena.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I feel like it's, especially once you get to the end and it's like, okay, this is what the episode is. I feel it's very much this show's take on that.
Yeah, I feel I like some stuff in this episode. I think the ultimate kind of conclusion on the planet is the weakest part.
Yeah.
The random dude who's part of this Ticon Empire, because this was a planet in the edge of Ticon's civilization, which has been dead for 600,000 years because their star went supernova, and this planet was far enough away that it didn't, get destroyed.
Didn't get caught in the blast, yeah.
But so this guardian of some sorts wakes up and is like surprised to hear that his entire empire that he's supposed to be serving and guarding is dead. And he's going to fight Riker, but Riker just kind of spouts some Shensu at him, and
Yeah.
and that kind of wraps it up. For me, most of the fun of this one though is just kind of dealing with the Ferengi and how does Picard speak to them? What tactics do they use with them? And him getting like advice from the various lieutenants and like upper officers and kind of weighing in which advice you should take, and should he be trying to be diplomatic even though they seem to be hostile, and then also just learn about the Ferengi and what they're like. They're very trade orientated culture.
Yes.
Where they constantly just care about, is this business? Can we make a deal out of this? Can we trade things about this?
I like them.
They're somewhat amusing. Although I feel weird that this is 2 episodes in a row where we've met an alien or a culture that is shocked that Yar's as an officer when she's a woman.
Yeah.
In fact, in this case, the Ferengi are shocked that they even let the women wear clothes, which particularly stood out to me as a bit weird. Or I don't want to quite say sex. I don't think on its own it's sexist. It just feels weird to me that 2 in a row we've had a race. It's like, wait, you let your women do this?
Yeah. It's 2 in a row. We had a French thing as well, right?
Yeah. That at least I feel like it's a running gag. Just the idea that Picard is really proud of his French heritage, and Data keeps sort of putting his foot in it. And
I don't feel like it's going to stick around, though.
yeah, no, I agree. I don't think so. This one was kind of funny to me though, because they're talking about flags and they bring up the American flag, and then it's like, yes, the French was the same colours, but they had it in the proper order of blue, white, and red. And then Data just starts listing off like various flag colours.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, shut up, Data. It's not time for this. We're talking about the Ferengi, but you started this. It's just data. So
Yeah.
no, I mean it's a decent enough running gag. Do you know what's funny actually when they were describing the pull on the ship, like because they're kind of trapped in like a beam, and they were talking about how the if they try and go away, they it can't, but they have this idea of slowing down and then releasing. And I was actually thinking of a Chinese finger trap when he said that. It was like you
Yeah.
slow down instead, and then sure enough, like a scene later, Data's playing with one, and then it becomes like a gag in the
A little
episode.
bit on the nose, right?
Yeah, I was like, I already got this. I get
Yeah.
it's amusing that Data can't figure it out because
I think is it better if they'd had the Chinese finger trap first, and then they're like, oh, that gives us an idea.
it's funny. I would have said don't have them at all, but then at the end of the episode, Riker's like, "Oh, I suggest we send a box of Data's Chinese finger traps to the Ferengi as a gift." And I'm like, okay, that kind of won me back over a little bit. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
The thought of sending all these aliens who are very pernickety, at the best of times so
Impatient.
far.
Yeah. I don't think they have the patience to figure it out.
Yeah, so I kind of like that joke at the end. I mean, this is an episode where I like some of the world building that it's doing with the Ferengi and how we interact with them and setting them up. The actual, like, the rest of the episode, though, is just kind of whatever. Because, I mean, I've not even mentioned yet that the energy on the ship is draining because of the planet as well. So eventually, when Riker and crew and the away team go down,
They're all dying.
yeah, like Picard and Crusher and like all the civilians on the ship are all like slowly suffocating and freezing to death.
Freezing to death, yeah.
In fact, when they get the alien guardian dude to like release the hold of the ship, like you literally see Picard and Crusher like almost dead. Like they're just kind of waking up. They're like, oh, we're alive. Oh, lights are back on.
Yeah.
Oh, that was in the nick of the time. Good job,
Well,
Riker.
that was convenient.
Good
Yeah.
job. And it's kind of that thing where they've added this ticking time bomb, but I never actually felt that pressure whilst they were on the planet. It felt very laxed down there in comparison.
Weird. It's a problem we have a lot with Star Trek, though, isn't it? That
Yeah.
they always go, oh, we've got to have a ticking clock. And then a lot of the time it's just kind of there.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like they're really engaging with it. No pun
Yeah.
intended. Yeah, we did kind of see Riker sit down, although Geordi was in the foreground covering his legs.
Yeah. Couldn't see it.
You see him sit down, but you don't really get to see what his legs are doing. Damn it! Which is the closest we've been, might I add. But we keep getting
getting there.
closer. We keep getting closer just to see them take
They
a
are.
seat.
They're blue balling us, though, aren't they?
They are. Again, it's almost like they know.
I know. Well, 4 episodes down, they're just not quite giving it us.
So, yeah. So no, I think the Ferengi. I think they're an interesting race. I like that they've got like a character trait that feels very.
I feel
Specific.
like I could get irritated by them with exposure.
Depends how often they're around.
Yeah. Like if they're around too much, I could get irritated by them.
Because I feel like later on when they're trying to like negotiate their way with the alien dude, and they keep trying to like sell human beings as being awful, and they're like, no, these. And then when Riker does say something nice, then they try and take credit for it.
Yeah.
I can see that being kind of fun, like if that's written well, where they're being kind of
Interestingly,
slimy.
I find them more irritating in a group. They become this little echo chamber.
Oh, sure, yeah.
When it's just the one that Picard was dealing with, that was all right. It's when there's a group that it was like the 3 of them together down on the planet, and they kind of made each other worse.
Well, I think the main one, Latek, his name is the Shimmerman character. When he's on Deep Space Nine, I think he's just on his own, so
That's all right then.
don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that as much. But yeah, no. So I like learning about them. That was the interesting stuff of the episode.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, I like compare them to the traders of the old days. Riker, I guess, confirmed he's American, which doesn't feel like something we have to confirm, except that Picard's seemingly descended from from France. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So everyone could just be kind of be from wherever. I guess everyone's just speaking English now.
Yeah, I mean, is it any different to the original series? Chekhov from Russia.
That's true. He's got a thick accent though.
He does.
See, when Chekhov said he was Russian, I just assumed he's literally, he's born in Russia and he has a Russian accent. Whereas with Picard, it almost feels like, no, we're at a point now where everyone shares like similar accents and all speaks English, but he just happens to be from French heritage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's fair.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters much. It's just one of these little observations you're kind of making
No, that's true.
as you're chipping through.
Yeah. I did think it's interesting that we're doing a kind of another remake already. After the two was the remake. This one, I say it's not quite as direct as that. Don't get me wrong, but just in the sense that it's very much this. It becomes this entity, kind of seeing how they deal with these two species dealing with each other, right?
Hmm.
That was very much the thing with Arena was okay. How do they react? How do they do that? And this kind of goes down that path of kind of proving themselves as a worthy species. That's kind of what it comes down with Riker. He's like, oh, you're gonna have to prove yourself, and the thing is going to be combat, and then it's a riddle.
Although in this case, the Guardian was going to just like destroy them at first without even
Yes,
testing them. But
but it kind of became that.
yeah, but he got intrigued when they decided to like stop fighting and maybe work together reluctantly to try and figure things out. And I think the fact that even because he offers Riker, hey, well, I'll blow up the Ferengi ship for you since you've won. And he's like, no, they won't learn anything from that. Like, let them grow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that's a sign of improvement.
Yeah, it is a bit of an evolution on the idea. It's not just a straight up remake.
Yeah,
but it felt very similar to me.
Yeah, I think the plot of this episode is the weakest part. It's this the Ferengi mystery and like learning who these characters are and what this species is like, and then just some of the little things like Data. Again trying some jokes. Was it he says?
Yeah.
He says something to write home about. He says a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he's like, did I use that right? Because I think it's Riker looks at him and it's like he's said something weird and he's like, did I not use it right? But he did.
Yeah.
It's like Riker's just surprised. That's all.
Yeah.
Just surprised that you're using a phrase like that. So
this was objectively probably the best of the last three.
yeah, probably. I didn't enjoy it the most.
No, I definitely enjoyed the second one the most.
Yes, the Naked Now is set a bar.
It is the gold standard right now for enjoyment levels.
Yes. And again,
this is
not a good episode, but a very entertaining episode.
Yes, yeah. But this is definitely a better episode.
Yeah, it does more interesting things. The ultimate plot is kind of just like, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in this Guardian dude. When he appeared, I was kind of like, oh, okay,
it's one of these.
Yeah, I immediately just kind of like stopped paying attention to who it really was or what was going on.
Yeah.
Not really, but what I mean, like you kind of check out a little bit. It's like, okay, right, I know what this is now.
Yeah. I'm intrigued by the Takan Empire a little bit though. Don't know if that ever comes up again.
Yeah, I would have
Probably
guessed
not.
no.
Yeah, probably it's probably in a book somewhere.
Yeah, it feels like a throwaway thing just for this episode.
It
but,
does, but there's just enough given there that I want to know more.
If they bring it back, then great, then cool. They've expanded upon something that maybe wasn't intended to be in the first place, then cool. But
yeah,
I wouldn't expect it to be.
I wouldn't either.
Also, no Wesley this episode actually. He's mentioned at one point, and he's
Picard wants to sedate him so he doesn't have to suffer as he's dying.
And she's like, nah, he's off helping somewhere or something like that. She says, I can't remember what the excuse was. On Picard Children Watch though, Riker like catches two young kids like in the conference room, and he's like, "Oh, you two know you're not meant to be in here," and he kind of like shushes them out very quickly. And then Picard walks in just as they're leaving, and he's like, "Boys will be boys." And I get the idea that Riker's not actually mad at them; he just knows that Picard will be pissed, so he's just getting rid of them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, go
go before the evil bald man comes in and snaps your heads off.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, that's an okay episode with some interesting elements that's introducing, but not a strong episode that I think will be very memorable in the long run.
No, but it was all right. It wasn't like last time where I hated watching it.
Yes. So next time we have. Okay, this better be a good episode because it's called Where No One Has Gone Before.
Okay, you use a title like that. Yeah. You've got to go for it.
Yes. Here's the synopsis on IMDb. I want to start doing this at the end of each episode just to get us jazzed for the next one.
Yeah.
Everyone accurately pegs a visiting propulsion scientist as a charlatan, but only Wesley Crusher recognizes his alien assistant as the real deal. Oh, Wesley's
Oh.
Wesley's maybe suing next week, so everyone look forward to
This
that.
this doesn't sound like the good episode I'm promised by that title.
It doesn't, but we'll see. So let us know what you think of the last Outpost in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, of course, you can head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and you can support us over there for as little as $1 per month. You get these Star Trek discussions a week early, but that's not to discount, of course, liking and subscribing and commenting and all that other stuff that does help as well. So thank you very much for watching and listening. Always appreciate it. Keep watching Star Trek and sci-fi and all that shiz and shambles and shabolics. And that's us. So to everyone but Connor, live long and prosper.